influenza is a very important public health problem. It affects millions of people every year and causes a lot of illness, a lot of hospitalizations, and a large number of deaths globally.
Aktiviti pencegahan dan kawalan kesjangkitan sesama burung H5N1 dilakukan secara aktif sesulang ternakan ayam dikesan diserang penyakit itu di Kampung Pulau Tebu Tunjong, Kota Baru, Kelantan 5 Mac lalu.
This begs the question of why Korea suffers so many bird flu outbreaks. Avian influenza is a problem that's prevalent in many countries, but Korea has particular geographic disadvantages.
Type A influenza viruses are classified into subtypes such as H1N1, H3N2, H5N1, or H7N9. The letters and numbers that make up the subtype names are based on the hemagglutinin, H, and the neuraminidase, N, proteins, which look like spikes on the surface of the virus. Numbers added after the letters H and N indicate in which order these proteins were discovered. While influenza viruses are particularly prevalent among aquatic birds, when they infect domestic chickens and turkeys, the fatality rate can be higher than 50%. Type A influenza viruses can cross species barriers, from birds to pigs, for instance. This capacity allows them to infect humans, and it is how pandemics can start, fortunately on very rare instances. Right now, in humans, only 2 subtypes of influenza A viruses are circulating and cause seasonal influenza epidemics. Transmission from animal reservoirs to humans could be direct or indirect. In the latter case, a first direct transmission happens between one animal reservoir to another, for instance in pigs, in which an adaptation of the virus happens before infecting humans. A third way of transmission is through genetic reassortment. The genetic information of influenza viruses is written on 8 separate gene segments. Genetic reassortment may happen when 2 different subtypes of influenza enter a body at the same time. They may replicate simultaneously within a single cell, and this may create a new virus containing gene segments from both parent viruses. In 1957, a reassortment between a human influenza virus and an avian influenza virus resulted in a pandemic which killed about 2 million people worldwide. No other type of virus or pathogen evolves as rapidly as influenza. This, alongside its ability to jump across species, shows how challenging it is to predict where the next pandemic will come from, how it will spread, and how hazardous it might be. Every time a human infected with the virus coughs or sneezes, tens of thousands of tiny droplets are released into the environment. Even a very small droplet may contain hundreds of viruses. Droplets can enter the body of another person through their mouth or nose and contact with this person's respiratory mucous membranes. With cells being destroyed, inflammation occurs and mucous membranes are weakened. This opens the door for other pathogens like bacteria to enter the body and cause infections, including pneumonia, which can be fatal. When tissues are inflamed, this prompts the infected person to cough or sneeze. Huge quantities of the virus are therefore released back into the environment to potentially infect people nearby, and ultimately extending the spread of the virus.